Hello, 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 YouTube. What's going on? It's PPR, Presley's Passion and Reactions. I'm your boy Presley, and I'd like to thank you all again for stopping by and checking out my channel. Now, the video I have for you is an interview with theoretical physicist Michio Kaku. Now, if you know who Michio Kaku is, you know that he's a superstar in the scientific field, with other people such as Neil deGrasse Tyson, the late great Richard Dawkins. There's so many, in my opinion, there's so many superstars in the scientific world that are bringing science and the love of science to the forefront, which is, I think is awesome. It's about the new satellite that NASA has launched into space called TESS. So it's a planet hunting satellite. It's a planet hunting satellite. So let's hear what Michio Kaku has to say about it, because he's well versed on the subject. So let's just check him out.
What was once considered science fiction has now become science fact. Earlier this week, NASA announced
to boldly
the
go
planned April 17th launch of an experimental satellite. Its mission,
the final
to
frontier,
search over 500,000
space.
stars outside our solar system, with the goal of finding new Earth-like planets. It's called the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS for short.
Here with more about the mission is CBS News science contributor and City University of New York physics professor Michio Kaku. Professor, good morning.
Morning.
So tell us about TESS. What exactly is TESS hoping to find out there?
Well, the holy grail of planetary astronomy is to find a twin of the Earth in outer space.
Can you
a
imagine?
doppelganger.
Right.
And TESS may actually hit the jackpot.
TESS, Transitioning Exoplanet Survey Satellite. Mission to discover new Earths and super Earths orbiting nearby stars. Launch date April 16, 2018. Will monitor 500,000 nearby stars.
This is amazing.
500,000 nearby stars. This satellite is going to be monitoring, looking for Earth-like planets.
Potential planets. How do these two compare?
Let's
these
keep
two
watching.
satellites?
Well, Kepler was the first and identified 4,000 potential planets out there, but it only analyzed a small little dot in the Milky Way galaxy.
Right.
It had a stationary target, always analyzing planets within that little disk.
Has
However,
found
TESS
about
is gonna
2,500
analyze the
confirmed planets.
northern and
30
southern
planets were found to be in the habitable zone of a star.
85% of the
30
entire
planets found to be in the
sky.
habitable zone of a star. Do you know what that means?
It's going to rotate very precisely so that the cameras will be able to take pictures of large areas of the sky to look for nearby planets. Now, in 2 years, the Webb Space Telescope goes up into orbit, a replacement for the Hubble Space Telescope, and we hope to have pictures, get this, actual photographs of these
actual
Earth-like
photographs
planets
of these
in space.
Earth-like planets.
This is amazing.
I can't
What
wait
would you
to
say
see
the
that.
percentage of these undiscovered planets? How many are really Earth-like and potentially inhabitable?
Well, we can now take a census of the Milky Way galaxy. It turns out that on average, every star has a planet going around it. On average, 1 in 20 have perhaps an Earth-like planet, which means that in our own backyard, there are billions of Earth-like planets right in our own Milky Way galaxy.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
So when you search for new planets, of course, there's always the chance you might discover alien life. Now, the late Stephen Hawking suggested maybe we didn't want to find alien life because we wouldn't like what we found. What's your take on this?
I happen to agree with my former colleague, Stephen Hawking, about this, because we don't know what their intentions are. We think they're out there. We don't know whether they can visit us or not.
Right.
But if they can, they're hundreds, thousands of years more advanced than us.
Are you convinced of this?
I'm convinced that they're out there.
Absolutely.
The odds are way in their favor now because of all these discoveries from the Kepler satellite.
Life on just Earth.
And I think for the most
Universe
part, they're
is
going to
just
be peaceful.
too
However, you can't rule out the
vast
fact that something like what happened when
us.
Cortez met Montezuma
Doesn't make any sense.
and the Aztec Empire collapsed within a matter of months to years. No. That cannot be ruled out. So I think it's not good for us to advertise our existence to alien life forms in space.
I want to ask you about UFOs. while we're on this topic here.
UFOs.
So there was an American airline pilot who said that he spotted some sort of what appeared to be a UFO, and then there was another Learjet pilot who also saw the same thing. What do you make of this?
Well, 90% of the emails I get, you can explain very easily as the planet Venus, comets, meteors, weather anomalies. But the last 10% sends shivers up your spine because they could be a new form of hypersonic aircraft experimented by the Air Force. They could be maybe unauthorized weather balloons that are not in anyone's chart, or you can't rule out they could be visitors from another world.
There are actually radio recordings from the pilots that were published by a website.
Billions
If
of
we can, let's take
Earth-like
a listen to
planets
those.
just in the Milky Way galaxy in our own backyard.
Number 71 Papa Golf, go ahead.
And was there anybody above us that passed us like 30 seconds ago?
Number 71 Papa Golf, negative.
Okay.
UFO.
Yeah.
Again, I think we heard an American Airlines pilot there talking about something that passed overhead. This was published on a website. A little eerie when
seasoned pilots.
it can't be explained.
They're not just
That's
making
right, and
things
these are
about
seasoned pilots with
making things
thousands of
about it.
hours
They're
of
coming out of their
experience.
ass.
This is not a lark. This is not just some kind of thing that someone saw one day. No, 2 people saw it in 2 different jets.
Yeah.
And it means that we have to take these things more seriously. So I think the government, as we now know, has been leaking false information about UFOs in order to divert attention away from the stealth bomber and different kinds of experimental aircraft that are experimented with in Area 51. So I think the government should be a little bit more honest
They
about
have no
some of
choice
these
but
sightings.
to lie to the public about
All right,
these
Professor Michio Kaku, thanks so much for being with us this
unidentified
morning.
flying
We look forward to
object
what
sightings.
TESS
I mean,
will bring back.
can you imagine what the public reaction would be if they find out that Earth is not special, that humans are not unique, that life on Earth is not unique? Can you imagine the devastation that would do to religious structures, to religious philosophies, to pretty much any religious ideology that states that we are created in God's image? Because then what would explain other life in the universe? Are they also created in God's image? It would just be a whole bag of mess that humans, most humans, a lot of humans, as to say, would not be able to comprehend or even accept. It would be paranoia and fear spreading through the everyday life of everyday man, and the government does not want that to happen, not at all. But can you imagine hundreds of billions of exoplanets just in the Milky Way galaxy alone that are Earth-like? If they're Earth-like and they have water on the surface, absolutely there's life on those planets. Because all life needs is energy and sustenance. And that's what we get: the sun and water. Those 2 things create life. There cannot be life without an energy supply and sustenance to keep life going. I mean, it's just fascinating to see. And in the next year, they're going to be launching the Webb telescope that Michio Kaku said, the Webb telescope that's going to be able to take pictures of these exoplanets that are Earth-like. Pictures, we're going to actually be able to see surfaces of these worlds. If there's water, if there's any monuments, buildings, or land masses that can show life is flourishing on those planets. It's going to, these next 50 to 100, no, it's closer than that. These next 10 to 50 years in science and Earth, in science and space, and locating Earth-like planets, locating life, it's going to be jaw-dropping, and it's just going to be so influential towards the development of human society, period. When we discover that there is life out there in the universe besides our own, it's going to shatter so many false ideas that we've had about the world and the universe and our place in it. Because if we're not alone, then what we do does not just affect us, but potentially other worlds, other life forms in the universe. It's just amazing to me. But tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me what you thought about Michio Kaku's interview and what he has to say about life on other planets. and exoplanets themselves. I mean, comment down below, like and subscribe. This is your boy Presley from PPR, Presley's Passions and Reactions, and I'm out.